know who needs to hear this, but posting TikToks that only like 300 people see and maybe like 9 people like is way cooler. It's giving like indie artist, not mainstream.
My daily journaling practice from start to finish last week started with some blue paint on this journal page. Very simple abstract lines and mark. Took about 3.5 minutes. The following morning took about 11 minutes. I decided to do some random collage. I did want to keep some transparency. The next day I decided to go bold. This took about 4.5 minutes using an abstract stencil that I made. I'm using black gesso, which gives it a nice matte finish. This next morning I pulled out my white gel pen and my white Posca pen. I like the definition this gives. It took about 5 minutes on this day. On the last day, I continued with the white gel pen and decided to pull out some black and white collage fodder and ephemera to finish this page off. This art journal page just feels fun to me, so that's what I wrote. Thanks for watching.
I've never liked journaling until I started journaling with my art. So welcome to my journal. Every day I do a portrait of myself and then I turn it into a piece of art that represents how I feel. So today I feel pretty high energy. My arms are spiraling upwards and I'm feeling pretty creative. So I added these little stars and I'm also really hungry. So I added this like anxiety cluster in my stomach and I'm a little bit tired. So there's some drips on my legs and that's it.
Book Repair Edition.
Don't feel like drawing. That's fine. Let's protect and repair our sketchbooks instead. I'll fill in the bird by damaging and add a new cardboard backing. Grab some cardboard trash from your trash shelf. Broke it out. Oh my god, almost perfect. Measure Diva up and get to slicing. Fabulous. Why is Palpatine so big? Contact paper time. Smooth out. Done both sides. Beautiful time for theater sketchbook. Label printer. Perfect. Add more stickers. Repeat with contact paper. Slay all done. Now your sketchbooks are protected.
Uh-oh, the creative scaries have arrived. Artist block is here. And you know, if you're an artist, the longer you put off getting through it, the longer you're gonna be in it. I don't have time to play these games. Creating art is quite literally my job, so we're gonna do a little exercise that I like to call sketch and fill. The gist of this activity is taking a notebook and getting whatever art supplies you have that aren't your typical medium. I do make a lot of mixed media art, but my go-to medium is acrylic paint, so I'm going with crayons, colored pencils, and these acrylic markers. While we're doing this, the most important thing to remember is that we are not trying to create a masterpiece, we are not going with a theme, we are quite literally just putting whatever pops into our minds straight down on the paper. If you've ever gone through any sort of block, whether it's a physical block or a mental block, then you know that the longer you put off doing whatever that is, the harder it is for you to get back into it. You start to become more and more intimidated by the process, and some people stop making art completely because of this. Sketch and fill helps you just go with the flow and get as many different ideas out of your head at one time as you possibly can. These ideas don't have to match, they don't have to have any meaning, it's just to keep your hands moving. As you'll see throughout the page, there are a lot of repetitive marks and patterns that I use because I'm really not trying to be hard on myself right now. I am only trying to stay in motion. You'll see a lot of song lyrics or random words. That's because I'm listening to music while I do this, and so I'm just putting whatever pops in my head, and sometimes that's the music that I'm listening to. I did half of the page in color and the other half of the page in pen, and if you've been going through artist block, I would love to see you try this and let me know if it works for you.
I can't pay your love. Look is to treat your forehead. Oh, my life is falling apart. Maybe no one will notice if I disappear.
If you need some advice on how to fill up your sketchbook, this is the video for you. I've had the sketchbook for about 4 months and it's pretty much almost done. The things I see most often in my sketchbook are spreads, headshots, reference sheets, and full bodies, as well as a bunch of miscellaneous. First thing, and probably the most common, is spreads like this. This is a 2-page spread. It's really good for working on bodies. You can do full bodies or half bodies. You can add in a bunch of little trinkets, write the names. This is an example of a 1-page spread. You can do characters or a whole TV show, whatever you want. Here's some more examples as well. Next up is headshots. I have a lot of these little doodles or practices when it comes to things like hair or practicing how to draw guys. Next is character sheets. This is really helpful if you make a lot of OCs, so you can do things like this. Instead of doing a spread with a bunch of little details, you can always just do a full body with little background details. Here's it with 2 different outfits. Or you can always just work on coming up with a character. This is me trying to come up with a character, and so I have a page dedicated to just doodles, and then a page coming up with everything, listing out her character, stuff like that. You can see another example right there, but most of my sketchbook has a lot of empty pages or just doodles, headshots, concepts, stuff like that. So you don't need to hold yourself up to the standard that every page to your sketchbook needs to be a beautiful piece of art. This is just for you. Hope this helps.
How I add more chunk and detail to my sketchbook. Plastic cover so pens don't smudge. Random things my ox would own her. Stickers and pins make the pages look yummy. Just being creative, seeing something cool and adding that, there is no...
Let's do another semi-random sketchbook tour. This is a Loic term sketchbook I did in 2016. I skipped the first couple of pages because they have pictures. TikTok won't let me show you, but you can see there's a few false starts on sketches towards the beginning of this book, and then this is the year I was really into using Fude nib fountain pens and ink wash. That's when I kind of started all of that, 2016. I was also really trying to focus on natural landscapes for a little bit during there, just trying to figure out things like rocks and trees. There's some museum sketches in here. That's an aviation museum. Under construction building. There's the workshop in my garage. I did start drawing my daughter a lot. Junie, she's my oldest daughter, and that was when she was sleeping in the stroller. And there's another shot of my workshop in the garage. This is the living room after our daughter had gone to bed. That's Boulder, Colorado. Some interiors of coffee shops in various places. Another false start. That's the dining room in our house. That's looking inside the pantry of our house. Another coffee shop or a brewery or someplace. There's some more tree studies, just practicing trees. There's our guest bathroom looking in from the outside. And another coffee shop. My wife's studio space in our master bedroom. Another shot of the living room. Some more tree studies. Quite a bit of those in here. Didn't realize how into those I was. Some landing gear studies from an aviation museum. Our bathroom. Another living room shot. Random house. And that's it.
There's something really special that happens in the pages of our sketchbooks. It's where we create, problem solve, express, use our imaginations, reconnect with ourselves, and have fun. I've experienced moments of being completely immersed and lost in what I'm doing, forgetting the world around me as I breathe life into an idea and transform a blank page into something more. For me, that's a powerful kind of magic that can happen in a sketchbook practice. Making time and space for this is something I believe in, and it's also something I'm super passionate about sharing and encouraging. Whether you want to dive back into your practice, start one, continue to grow, or keep it as is, I'd love to support you throughout your sketchbook practice. If that sounds good to you, join me in the Creative Spark newsletter.
Filthy world. It's a filthy, goddamn, helpless world.
as just hearts, and they've got ambition, and they've got talent, as well as just beauty. And I'm so sick of people saying that love is just all a woman is fit for. I'm so sick of it. But I'm so lonely.
Ideias para deixar o seu sketchbook mais interessante. Ideia número 1, adesivos. Você pode tanto comprar como fazer os seus próprios. Eu gosto muito também de fazer uns quadradinhos coloridos ao redor do desenho principal. Ou então você pode só contornar o seu desenho para dar um destaque a mais no personagem. Eu gosto muito também de fazer alguns desenhos menores que tem relação com o desenho principal. E para preencher espaço sobrando, eu gosto de colocar alguns detalhezinhos pequenos. Esses aqui são os meus favoritos e eu meio que espalho eles pela folha.
Fingers crossed this video ends up on the For You page of somebody that used to draw as a kid, but they fell off as they got older, and they've been wanting to get back into it, but your art style wasn't what you wanted back then, so you feel like it can't be that now. Or it feels like it's gonna take too long to get there. It's not, okay? And I'm living proof, so I'm gonna show you. So I'm mainly gonna show y'all portraits because that's the area where I felt like, I feel like I can't get better. And this is the first picture on my art Instagram. I did this in March 2020, and this is very reminiscent of how I used to do my more cartoony drawings when I was a kid. One thing I particularly want you to take note of is this décolletage area, because this has such a glow up in future pieces. Then I have this sketch, and this is a sketch where I realized that I want to incorporate some elements of realism, which I was more into realism in my later stages of drawing as a teenager. So while this isn't super realistic or anything, this made me realize that I wanted my style to at least resemble the reference I was using. There's obviously artists who just use references for lighting, and then they have their own very concrete style that, is consistent throughout their pieces. And I kind of wanted to mix those two things. So that was my first time trying that. So the last one was in June 2022. Then I started painting, and I just didn't do portraits for a while because I was using gouache, and it'd be hard to do portraits with gouache. But then I did Peachtober in 2022. So this is in October, and this is supposed to be a full painting, but I had to rush it because I didn't really have time. Nonetheless, though, I wanted to show you this because a couple days later, I make much better portraits. Look at that. Look at that. This is another one where I didn't use a reference. So you can already see I'm learning a lot about how shadows work and stuff like that. And that I think was one of the first sketches for the other thing. So at the end of Peachtober, I actually started using watercolor, and that's my main medium now. So this was my first portrait with watercolor. One of the great things about revisiting art as an adult is that I didn't really have a background in this medium, but because I had some level of a background in art, it was a lot easier for me to pick this up. So don't be scared to try something new, okay? This is another no reference one, so it looks very similar to some of my other stuff. But what's important about this one is that I used watercolor in the background to do this abstract thing, which is something I do in my work a lot now and I really love to do. This is literally 2 months ago. It's another try at the watercolor background thing. And you can see this one has so much more dimension than the other one. This is one of my décolletage flexes. I did trace this image, so I'm not going to take credit for the drawing too much. But you can see all that dimension in the chest. Doesn't that look so much better than before? This was in March too. And then this one was just a couple weeks ago. Look at how much more vibrant these colors are. That's something I really wanted to work on, and it looks so much better. You can also see the abstract thing really developing here. I feel like I'm getting the hang of how I want to do that. Hair is different. My approach for so many things is so different. And the bulk of this improvement really took place in the last few months. So try again. Don't give up, okay?
Hello fellow artists, and welcome to the first ever video in my new art journal prompt series. In this series, I plan to give one prompt per week to spark some inspiration for your art journal. Today's prompt is all about visual diary entries and capturing moments not with words, but with drawings. The thing I like about this prompt is you can put really as much or as little into it as you'd like, and the end result will still probably always be fun to look back on. For example, if you're intimidated by the idea of making a visual diary entry every single day, you can scale it down and just do it once a month. So for example, this is a diary spread for the entire month of November where I drew myself in my favorite outfit, and I wanted to document some of my favorite foods and leisure activities and goals and really just anything I wanted to remember. If you're looking for something a bit more simple, this idea can be scaled down even further by taking 2 minutes out of your day to draw one tiny moment. Whether it's happy or sad or a really outrageous quote from one of your friends or family members. They're always so fun to look back on. I want to emphasize too, these drawings don't have to be beautiful in any regard. What is that? So even if they end up looking like utter crap, they still might become your favorite pages in the whole sketchbook.
Also, mistakes are charming, so just keep that in mind.
If you don't know how to be creative, try testing your endurance. I ran out of white paint, so I'm using this iridescent medium, and you can only get it so smooth, so this is about good. Now turn your sketchbook into a notebook. And really, it doesn't have to be perfect. Because the H's are the star of our show. I'm 100 H's in, and I've learned I'm not the man I thought I was. But we persist. Now we're at 250, and I just did the math and realized how long this is gonna take. But we persist. Just hit 500, and my hand is starting to cramp up. But we persist. 1,000, and I forgot my own name. But I guess we're persisting. 2,000. Persist. Yeah, I really don't know if I enjoyed this. I also don't know how the H this happened on the edge, but we're done. Here's a close-up so you can really see some of their different personalities. Once again, though, this was just...
No blank pages, part 3. Grab your favorite pen and trace your hand onto a blank page in your journal. Next, you're going to fill your hand with different size swirls that are close together. And there you have it, another meditative doodle.
Day 79. If you haven't noticed, I've been showing my artwork to show hope to people during these times for 79 days. And I'm still not giving up hope, and I hope you haven't either. I understand things are bad, and every day we turn on the news and it's a circus show out there. I get it. But one thing we cannot do is to have fear, okay? We will beat this, okay? And I have been making art as a form of relief and to encourage other people, because we need more than ever, we need creation in the midst of destruction. And here is a fun little mixed media collage I did today.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now.
So I've been working on becoming a better artist because, like, I don't know, if you're an artist, you always are. But, so I was practicing with color in this spread a lot more than I usually do. So I made a rule for myself, no black, whole spread. And I'll flip the camera for y'all so you can see it better. I used acrylic paint pens. I used my Shoto Art ones. I get a lot of questions about those, so that is what I used. I think it turned out really cute. I think I did really good on the bottles. I don't know, pretty fun. Very colorful, very fun. Very cute, love it.
I am fucking crazy, but I am free.
Tell her the truth. Tell her the truth so that she will watch the stars through tears instead of following the one cold star that is her destiny.
Here's one of my favorite pages to do when I don't know what to do. Hi, I'm Amanda and I'm art journaling every day for the month of January. We all have days where the creativity is unfortunately nowhere to be found. So I like to do this idea. It's called squeegee painting. There's different names for it. But essentially all you're doing is putting down your paint and then using a scraping tool to scrape your paint across the page. This is really cool because you can try so many different color combinations and get different results. I really like to do this exercise as a basis for my paintings and I work off from it. I find that the painting can give direction to where the rest of the piece is going. That's one of the things I love about this type of abstract art is that the storytelling really comes from you doing the task. You never really know what you're gonna get. Added a quick little quote and that's my page for today. I'll see you tomorrow for another one.
I haven't touched my sketchbook in weeks. She's starving. I'm gonna put in a serious session. I'm going to be finishing this spread that I started in the park as kind of a precursor to this spread. I wanted to use it to warm up, do some landscapes, and just do a bit of mark making with some pencil because it's pretty easy work. In this space on the right, I wanted to do a loose watercolour. I've done a few of these before, there's a couple in my bathroom like this. And they're just fun paintings to do, and later I'm going to use a bit of colour pencil on the top just to eliminate any kind of pressure I'm putting on myself to make it good, because I'm not that brilliant at watercolour. I had to get Instagram to decide what colour swatch I wanted. I was kind of swaying towards blue as it was anyway, so I'm pleased I got to put that in. The swatches are just paint samples that I took from a hardware store. That space was gagging for a swatch. I mean, I just got them from a hardware store, they're paint samples. But I'm glad I got to put one in the sketchbook finally. I've been looking for an excuse for ages. I'm just doing a line drawing on top of it to break up some of the realism on the page, if you can call it that. I'm just going to bring some variety to the spread. And now I'm going to use a colour pencil on top of the watercolour, but this pencil gives me so much grief. It's actually not the one. The colour pencil is brilliant because it gives so much texture and actually makes a painting so much more visually interesting, because I'm not that skilled at watercolour, so it's just going to bring an extra dimension to what's on the page. It's also just another tool that I'm using to keep it loose and not to put too much pressure on myself to make it look good or realistic. I'm just filling whatever remaining space I have left on the page with whatever comes to my mind first, and that's kind of the attitude I take to filling my sketchbook anyway.
When I was drawing at the American Museum of Natural History, I thought it would be so cool if there were other artists here. And then I remembered, oh yeah, there are. There's a whole bunch of us, and it's almost time to share sketchbooks, so let's go see what everyone made. This is our 10th urban sketching meetup, and what you're seeing here is the best part. After drawing for an hour, we get together, have a little show and tell, and exchange ideas and inspiration. Different locations offer different themes, lessons, and opportunities. Like how at a museum, you could represent an exhibit through a collection of quick sketches like Soren did here.
Wow, love that.
Our next destination is the Highline, which has a similar setup. It's perfect for thinking in quick snapshots. So if you'd like to join us, you can RSVP on my website. I also have beginner classes that run beforehand, as well as a more in-depth online program, so there should be something for everyone. I hope to see you there.
My beautiful daughter. She's growing up. She's the best of me. Better than I'll ever be. And that's okay. That's good. She deserves it all. She makes me believe I'm worth something. Seeing her strength, her heart. She thinks I'm the strong one, but she has no idea how delicate it all is. Happily ever after.
Day 1 of trying a new hobby to recover from burnout. My name is Vanessa, I'm 25 and I'm still trying to find myself. So I decided to make something with my hands because science says it helps us switch off our brains, which is what we really need in modern society. Anyway, I loved drawing as a kid, but as I got older, I was told that it was a meaningless hobby that wouldn't make me any money, so I stopped. But today I picked up a paintbrush for the first time in 10 years and this is what I made.